All right, everybody. I
Wait, why does Jeff get to be in the middle?
don't know, man.
I think because he has the smallest head.
I have the most NFL.
I didn't know where you're going with that. Reed.
Fowler.
Yeah. This is the Slate, Wednesday edition of the Slate. Highest edition of the Slate, highest rated edition of the Slate on a weekly basis because the gorgeous golf gurus who are going to dip their meaty toes into the week one odds for the NFL season kicks off a week from tomorrow. Reed T. Fowler, Jeff Ulrich, Emerson Latzia, producer Eamon behind the scenes, Andrew on the ones and twos. Good day to all of you. Reed T. Fowler, how you doing, man? How are your dog's anal glands? I heard you had to get those expressed.
Yes, they're good. Every month, every 4 weeks, we got to do it because if you don't, it is not good news. And Jen, we were all talking about it right before we went live. Hey, just fork over the cash, go to the vet, make them do it. Don't try and do it yourself.
Yeah, Jeff, you do that yourself. You kind of get back to.
Well, I attempted it once. My old dogs needed their anal glands expressing frequently as well, and it's, as Reed mentioned, like it's not a do-it-yourself thing. It's a get expert help.
That doesn't come out of anything, by the way. Like, that's the other thing. And look, Jeff also lives 60 miles from civilization. That's why he has to do it himself.
Walmart, like a minute down the street from me, you guys.
Oh, yeah. You know who has a Walmart? God. Topeka, Kansas has a Walmart. Every place has a Walmart, okay? Give me a break.
I could literally see Costco from my backyard. Anyways, okay. Fine.
Is that right? Are you a member at Costco? I'm a Sam's guy.
I am. I'm it's exclusive membership. I have a member. I can hook you guys up after the show.
Jeff also can see Russia from his backyard.
Yeah, Jeff, you live in an interesting region for sure. But I'm happy that you're able to get internet because I'm happy you're able to do the Slate with us every Wednesday here. We talked a little bit about it this morning, gentlemen. Let's start with Liv here. Liv Golf, 6 more dudes going. So I saw that, Jeff. I saw that. Cameron Smith actually talked, I think, maybe about an hour ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He outlined like the reasons why he left the PGA Tour and is joining Liv, which, you know what I appreciated yesterday from HV3? I think it was yesterday he released like the statement or whatever.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't have a problem with like what these guys choose to do. It's their life, man. He was like, I'm going for the money. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. But he says this is the future of golf. Going back to Cam Smith. I love how it is out here. A little more laid back, music playing. I love that stuff. Says it's going to allow him to spend more time with his family over in Australia, not Jacksonville Beach. I don't know. We kind of mentioned it this morning though, Jeff, and I asked you like who's been the most important signing, I guess, for Liv. And I think you went Cam Smith, right?
Oh, it's definitely Cam Smith. I mean, again, like we can debate like future potential and you know, like again, like there's other important signings and Reed mentioned them this morning, like Neiman and Bryson. But when you can get the winner of the flagship event, the guy who literally stared down, you know, the PGA's like head spokesman and Rory McIlroy, and just a guy who people already, I think the biggest thing with Cam Smith is he's not just insanely good. People like him. Like he's a nice guy. Like there's no reason not to like Cam Smith. He's not Patrick Reed out there. He's hilarious. He wears the mullet around. You know, he's like a champion for mullets, which we all like, you know, guys just being themselves. And so, you know, like nobody has like, and that's the funny thing. Like you hear these other guys, no one's really said anything bad about Cam Smith. It's just like, oh man, we lost Cam Smith. Like, it's almost like this is like the most depressing signing. Like people are like, fine, Bryson, like, oh, we don't like go hit your like, you know, protein shakes over there. Dustin, whatever, dude, like you got to pay for like the next speedboat, you know, no one really cares. But like Cam, like there's legitimately people are sad at this. It's a very likable player. It was building a really good fan base. And, you know, as far as his comments go about like the future of golf and he likes it more laid back, I'll say it's a little disappointing. Like Cam Smith just won two of the most competitive events on the planet. Why would you want a more laid back atmosphere? If you're like the best golf, like what? Yeah, you should be pushing yourself. You don't want more laid back. I want more pressure. Like, I want to prove myself. So a little disappointing. Again, it's like you said, wish these guys would just come out and say what HV3 said. Like, yeah, I had a great opportunity at the PGA Tour. Guess what? I'm never going to get this chance again to make this much money. I'm going. So I get where Cam Smith is coming from, because the Australia connection, that's real. He can't play 20 events in the PGA and travel to Australia. Liv gets him a chance to do that. The other stuff, the future golf stuff, give me a break. Give me a break.
Yeah, Reti Fowler, like you're not going to live for the competition. You're just not.
Yeah, a couple of things. I think one is that when athletes lie, and because we put them on pedestals, right? And we as a collective audience put athletes on pedestals. When they lie or don't tell us the truth, then you go from loved to hated very quickly. I think that's what Cam Smith is experiencing a little bit, right? When he just didn't come out and say, like, yeah, I'm considering it. I mean, how, like, for whatever reason, right? Whether it's legal, business, whatever the case may be, that plays a part in it. And his character and his reputation are tarnished because of it. It doesn't matter. I mean, look, Harold Varner III hasn't won a single PGA Tour event, not a single one. And what are we talking about? Of all the live guys signing, he did it the best way.
Yep.
Right. That's because he was honest from the get-go. So that's one. Number two, like this was kind of before all the stuff that we were hearing at the Open Championship about him going. He kind of alluded to this without really talking about it. Is that before the Players, he was saying, I wasn't even worried about the Players Championship. I just wanted to hang out with my family. I hadn't seen them for so long. So he's like, I wasn't even thinking about golf. And then I come out and I win the Players Championship. So to that point, absolutely. Like, if you want to spend more time with your family, then so be it. And lastly, Jeff talked about he wants to face competition. I think there's a cutoff in our generation because all three of us are around the same age. These new kids are soft, man. Yeah. They don't want competition. They don't. Like they just don't. Like, NBA players want to rest, right? These guys want to play less golf, but they're playing more golf, and they want DJs. Like, I just saw a thing where Phil's practicing up in Boston over here, and there's a DJ booth going like as they're practicing. Like, at some point, like, this is going to dry up. Like, this whole thing is going to dry up, and then what do you have left? I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about all the other stuff around it.
All the bells and whistles,
Right. So, like, but these guys are soft, man. They like the answers, like Bryson to an extent, Cam Smith. They don't want the grind. And look, that's completely fine. If you don't want it, some people just can't handle it, then so be it. We see it all the time in business, right? How many people like don't want to like bust their what to be the best salesperson in their company? They just don't. And that's kind of what these guys are doing. But they're getting a pretty big paycheck to not be best.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, when people ain't gonna remember that you got paid. They're gonna remember like, you got 10 wins on the PGA or something, and like that's
the goal.
Yeah. So
we always talk about it's always about rings. It's always about majors. It's always about championships. It's not about what did Jordan get paid in his fifth year contract? The Bulls. No one knows. Not a single person will know. Unless you're a historian of Michael Jordan and the Bulls, but you know that he's got 6 rings, right? Like that, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that Cam Smith won the PGA, won the Open Championship, won the Players. No one's going to remember how much he signed for. Maybe we will because we've been talking about it ad nauseum, but not a lot of people are going to care. And inflation too, right? It's not going to be that much.
Effing inflation, man.
Effing inflation.
Every time I have a problem, like, these days, I'm like, dude, inflation, bro.
I want Emerson to explain inflation to our viewers.
Yeah, we don't have to do that right now. I will say this. Samir is always blaring music when we play.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I am dialed in and I'm having like the round of my life. And this guy's playing some kind of music that
Although Samir's soundtrack, his music is good. It's very eclectic. It's not just like EDM.
No, it's changed a little bit lately.
Oh, has it? Because I played with him like a month ago,
it's changed.
He got comments. We were playing with like 2 random people that got paired with us, and he got some pretty good comments.
I don't know, man. Someone blares music when they're with me. I'm probably gonna take a shot at your stereo at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm not with it. not down
tried-
with that. Sorry.
I tried playing some classic rock about a month ago when I was in Buffalo with my father-in-law, and he's like, "The hell is that ish? Like, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Bro, loosen up, man. Come on. Like, this is like live golf out here now." And he's like, "No, not with that blood money." I'm like, "All right, man. I'll turn it off. Not a big deal." So real quick here, we got Cam Smith's got the second best odds to win this week in Boston. Jeff Ulrich, plus 650. DJ the favorite plus 550. I know this morning, at least in terms of DFS, you were still backing Bryson. Bryson, I think, is one of those 5-6 guys who are more than 10K in DFS, but over on the sports book, he's plus 2,200. That tickle your fancy?
He was plus 2,500 this morning. As long as Bryson is going to be priced bigger than Taylor Gooch, my guy Louis, like even Neiman. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, this is the dude who won the US Open less than 2 years ago.
Yeah, wings.
Prolific PGA Tour winner. Is everyone just writing Bryson off? Like, a little early for that. A little early to just say Bryson is like done and he should be priced the same as Abraham Answer. Give me I don't know. These are like, you got to just bet Bryson here. I mean, I don't care. The thing about the Live Golf Tour too is we have so much time between events. Like, does recent form even matter? Does it matter what someone did 4 weeks ago? Bryson could have been out here practicing. He could be feeling great coming into this event. I don't know. Like he said, he actually struck the ball well the last time. He just couldn't find a putt. I'm just going to keep playing this guy unless his odds shrink. Like he's almost 3 times as big as Joaquin Neiman. I really like Joaquin Neiman. His prime Joaquin Neiman right now is not as good as prime Bryson DeChambeau. And I know that like we haven't seen prime Bryson for a while, but like, again, these are long stretches we're going here, folks. Like the injury was like 3 months ago. So I trust, you got to bet him. Like at the top of the board, there's no one, like you could take another guy. You could take a shot at like, I don't know, maybe Brooks or something too, or Patrick Reed. I actually don't hate the Reed number. That's probably where I would think about going next, but it's going to get boring. But until Bryson wins, I'm betting him. Like
Reed T. Fowler, a little more than 6,900 yards. It's going to play a par 70 for these dudes. You got to avoid big misses off the tee because this course is tree lined on most holes. There's 5 par 3s, a couple par 4s that are going to play over 500 yards.
Yeah.
Anyone you're confident and sprinkle a little something on?
Yeah. I mean, those par 4s were par 5s for the members.
Yes.
And so for these guys, right, they're 500 plus yard par 4s. Look, I mean, these guys know it. 6,900 yards par 70. It's not that long.
Nope.
For these guys, you don't have to worry about this. This feels kind of like Colonial, right? It kind of feels like that type of course, tree line, maybe like in the Carolinas, you got like a Sedgefield feel or Parkland. So if you want to go that route, then fine. But yeah, I think Bryson, that's, it is weird seeing Gooch. It's weird seeing all of these guys, especially Gooch and Sergio. And even Paul Casey to an extent, who I like this week, shorter odds than Bryson. Maybe that's because Bryson's just not playing well. He's worried about other things. And maybe that now has to take into account, right? How we handicap Live is a couple of ways, in my opinion. One, you gotta know the guys who are either all in or who can pick up a club without practicing and then play extremely well. Because that's kind of how it feels. These guys on the PGA Tour, they're grinding every single week. So like Jeff was talking about, current form plays a little bit more into it, right? Is that because they've been grinding, we kind of have a trend that we can see from an analytical standpoint. This, not really. And there's no real rhyme or reason. We have no historical data. We have nothing to go off of. And what you see in sports betting that's beneficial is betting the same person until they win every single week. If you did this with Scotty Scheffler, if you did this with Bryson when he was winning, when you did this with like Joaquin Neiman, when any player really that has won this season, for the most part, you're going to make out positive when that, especially at a number like 22. I would argue that the shorter guys like DJ, Cam Smith, Joaquin Neiman at those numbers, maybe not so much. But when you get to the 22, the 30, the 40 range, 100%, Max Homa is the same way last year in the PGA Tour. So I don't mind Bryson and keep on betting him. I think Patrick Reed's a good one. But the guy that I was looking at maybe a little bit further down, what we've seen now with guys that have come over from the PGA Tour, and this is a little different, is they've actually played pretty well right out of the gate. But it's a little different because it's Tour Championship. Some guys, didn't make it to the Tour Championship. They didn't make it to East Lake. So Cameron Tringali is there at 5,000 plus 5,000. Lahiri is there at plus 5,000. I think Wiesberger is interesting. He was number one on the Euro Tour in over 36 rounds in approach. So par 70, par 4 scoring and approach, that's what you need. If you want to take a long shot, maybe it's one of those guys. But yeah, I'm probably sticking to Kevin Na is probably the deepest I would want to go at plus 3,500. But yeah, the Patrick Reed Bryson numbers at plus 22 and plus 25, those are the two places I'd rather go.
All right. So, parking's free. Like they don't charge for parking regardless of like what category ticket.
Well, PGA Tour, they don't charge for parking.
I mean, you got to buy a parking pass, like at least like we did, all the years I go to TPC Sawgrass, which, costs money.
Well, I mean, if you're
no,
that guy
for sure. No, totally. I was trying to see who's going to be.
No, you're right. It isn't free. You're right.
Yeah. I was going to see who, they do the concerts. I didn't know if it'd be like a, Hootie and the Blowfish cover band or something like that on Sunday night. Because it's Sunday night, people are going to treat it like it's Saturday night since Monday is Labor Day.
Oh, that's true. That is
right,
true.
Jeff. Like you'd get a little loose. It'd be pretty sick if you came.
Yeah, Jeff's got the sangria bowl. He's making he's making it. Because they celebrate Labor Day over in Canada.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So like, I mean, like events like this, you don't go too deep down the board. Like we're not reinventing the wheel here. Or like, Jeff, you're gonna go deep.
I mean, I like the Wiesberger call. I really do. I mean, again, I think the biggest thing is just like it's just so long in between events. We're gonna get some hangers. Like some guys are just hanging out there. I think Wiesberger is definitely like Wiesberger at the same odds as Pat Perez, Lahiri, like Poulter. Like, yeah, Wiesberger is a better player than those guys. He's just straight out, flat out better. He's got more potential. And I look at another guy, I brought him up this morning, but Adrian Oteggi at plus 1,000. I'm going to like, this guy was sixth at Live like a few events ago. He's really solid over in Euro. He's the same price as, Graham McDowell, who's like, talk about a guy who's just like on a retirement tour and doesn't care right now.
Siwon Kim is you want to say Siwoo, but
I just about said Siwoo. That's why I stopped. I just said Graham McDowell. But I mean, yeah, I think Otegui was a really good top 10 bet at plus 400. You could sprinkle a little bit in the outright. Absolutely. I mean, it's, like these are reduced fields, weird things can happen, but I like that more for a top 10. Yeah, I'm not going to get too crazy. It's still a reduced field. Like obviously the guys at plus, 1,000 and bigger, there's still talent gap in the live fields from the bottom 10, bottom 15 guys. Hudson Swafford, I don't know. Whatever.
Forget about Hudson.
He does stick out. Like he's a multiple time tour winner. He's got a really good game. He's just super inconsistent, but I'm not going anywhere past that. I'm not going to bet you line or something. I really like the Wiesberger call. I think was it you that brought up Na this morning, Reed?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good number on Na too. I mean, Kokrak's there as well, but Kokrak's kind of cooled off. I think Na at that number makes a lot of sense. Again, Matthew Wolff is another player who I may just bet him until he wins at plus 3,500. Like it does feel like Matthew Wolff will probably just figure it out at some point and just blast away. Like he's only got 3 rounds here. So, and grab a win at some point. That like Bryson and Wolff are 2 guys I'm kind of just planning to do that with. I think Na at these numbers is a good bet. He's longer odds than Varner. Even Reed, I'd put him up against like these days. So I don't mind that. And then Wiesberger. But other than that, I'm not going to take flyers with like Matt Jones or like any of these Euro guys like Norris or Vincent anymore. It's a little bit too talent heavy at the top now. And quite frankly, like you should be investing more in these guys at the top because there's some really good numbers. Like
and then the field is more saturated with talented players. Like you could have got those guys earlier when it was just like 3 guys competing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like when Schwartzel won. I mean, that's a perfect example. Right? Like
Schwartzel, Henrik. Like,
when it was basically he was only battling Dustin. Like that was
Louis,
like
runner-up Louis.
Louis like forgotten how to golf. So
runner-up Louis.
Doesn't matter where Louis plays. It's always going to be a bridesmaid.
Did you guys saw that? You saw what I tweeted out, like that idea? I thought that was a great idea for Liv, by the way. Like if you really want to spice it up.
Like shot and beer pong.
Yeah, like come on out. Of course, like it's a tour really wanting official world golf rankings. Like I don't know if they're gonna implement something like that when they're really like fighting for that right now. But I think it would be cool as hell. Bring a fan out, hit one shot. They got to pick one fan per round. And if the shot like absolutely sucks, okay, whatever, the pro gets to go. But
no, see where I would amend it is, well, Jeff is never going to strike one down the pipe if Louis is watching. Guy will be shaking.
I tried to give him credit, yeah.
But B, like that, you would have to basically say no. If you choose this person, you have to take that shot. But well, at some point, like maybe we can decrease your score by 1 if you do.
Ooh,
right, like that could be something where you could do it. But like, look, I mean, like if Liv's gonna do this, then fine. Like I just rather, like at some point, like I think the product is going to work at some point. And what you like about it is it's forcing the PGA Tour to update their archaic, product. This is what we've been talking about, and then everything trickles down, right? So then do they start updating their content? Do they start updating their TV production? Do they start updating all of this stuff now to combat what Liv is potentially doing? So be it. And so people who don't like Liv, I get it. I understand. I sympathize. But what you also like about it is it's the purest form of capitalism. It's the purest form of competition. So it's happening right now.
Yep. I mean, I like golf. Like it was weird driving halfway to Buffalo yesterday. I'm listening to like PGA Tour like radio, and I'm just like, I really like the game. I get there are reasons to not like the tour, but in the end, I want to go and just be entertained by great golf. And ticket prices are like pretty decent right now for right in our backyard. Deep Feller, I can go there and get a selfie with like Cam Smith. It'll be totally worth it for me.
Well, what we should do is we should get a selfie with Louis.
Oh my God. This guy clean up on Isle Ulrich's pants. You wouldn't be able to handle all the heat in one selfie, Ulrich.
His loins are
if you guys get a selfie with Louis, I'm gonna lose it. That's not fair. That's like me getting an autographed picture with Tony Finau or something, and then like putting it on my wall. There'll be repercussions if you guys get a picture with Louis.
There'll be repercussions. We have to do it now because I want to see what his definition of repercussions are. It's like you're gonna get a strongly worded email of me disliking your choices.
He like pulls out of our gorgeous golf gurus group chat
for like a day.
What a loss. Yeah, for the day, and then we just like invite him back. All right. Well, that's what's cooking in Liv. We got the NFL season, dudes. That are we got some fun stuff coming down the pipe too after our meeting today. I'm looking forward to like kind of what we're doing during football season. But it kicks off here, Sweet Tea Fowler, 1 week from tomorrow. So I don't know if we want to rip through some week 1 spreads, odds, whatever the hell you guys really want to talk about. But I do want to start with Bills Rams because that's the first game, Thursday Night Football, a week from tomorrow. And I don't know what's the spread right now. So Rams plus 2.5 and home games on opening day, right? I think they tend to favor the teams that actually like live there. So right now, gun to your head, would you take Rams plus 2.5 at home against the Bills or the Super Bowl favorites on the DK Sportsbook?
That's tough. This is moved. It was 1, right? Like a while ago. So this is moved now in quite a bit of favor of the Rams. And so heavy action coming in on the Bills. Like, I don't know. I lean towards the under, which is weird. Right, because the Bills they're such both teams are offensive powerhouses, but it's the first week, right? It's the first game. Some jitters might be afoot. The injection in the elbow, we don't know that yet. There's just a lot of things. Allen Robinson, how is he going to be with this team? So there's a lot of question marks. Would I be surprised if it goes over 53? Absolutely not. But I skew a little bit towards the under on 53. If anything, you got to bring back the teases. Like I would probably want to tease the Rams up to get 8.5 and maybe pair them with another team like, I don't know, the Lions, the Eagles, one of those teams. I just don't feel confident taking this one just at face value with the numbers because even though it's under, a possession, I'd much rather have it as basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, like Jeff, I'm thinking a little bit of the way the season ended for the Bills, right? We know everything happened with the overtime, like coin toss, all that stuff. I feel like they're going to go there. They're going to have the pedal to the floor because they're looking to prove that they could have beaten the Rams in the Super Bowl, unlike the Bengals could.
Right. I mean, the Bills are the Super Bowl favorite, right? Like they're favored on the road here against the defending Super Bowl champions. I mean, it's a pretty big, like statement. Just the fact that they're minus almost 3-point favorites on the road against, the team that was the best team in the league supposedly last season. So this is, if I'm being like dead honest, this game is probably one of my least favorite to bet from a spread standpoint because, I don't really like the trends too with the Thursday night, like the starting the Super Bowl champion, whatever. It's generally not, it's not a spot that I like to bet against the Super Bowl champs, even if I'm down. And like, I'm not even that big on the Rams, but like, again, you get a home team, they're celebrating the Super Bowl. They just, they're feeling good. Like this is the game for them. It's kind of like, like putting the stamp on their Super Bowl. And the Bills are just going to be so publicly bet that like, I may even take a stab with the Rams here. Right now, this is probably from a line perspective. I don't think I'm going to go anywhere. I'm going to look at some other. I'm definitely going to look at player props. That's for sure. But those aren't out yet, obviously. So,
nope.
But I think I would probably lean over here for the simple fact that defenses early in the season they tend to take a couple of games to catch up, and we're talking about Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, Steph Diggs, Josh Allen. I get that the defenses are good. These two teams could absolutely light this field, just rip it apart. Like we could be after the game, we could be sitting like the over-under should have been like 59. Like that's how good these offenses are, right? So I think right now, this total is probably too low. We're talking about like two really efficient offenses. So I think that the over right now is probably just my favorite. Again, we're not talking about exotics, whatever, like the props yet. Give me over 53 points. And Reed mentioned the teasers. I could potentially, I think that if I was going to tease a team, it might even be the Bills. Not sure where you land on a number. Like obviously maybe you get like, plus 3.5. I think that's probably around where we'd be aiming. So something like that as well. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull the trigger on the Rams just because it's the Bills. Like the Bills are a really, really good team. This isn't like they're playing like the Saints, like an above average team. This is like the best team. So I'm not sure how hard a line I necessarily want to take on going against the public because the Bills are going to be so public, but give me the over here. I like it. That's probably my favorite bet right now.
Okay. I like it. Reed T. Fowler, what spread is your favorite on the board for week one? Is there one that jumps out to you? Is there one you really like, you feel really confident about like right now?
I mean, it's hard to say just because, you want to make it. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to the actual.
No, it's all good.
I know they're on yet, but like, I mean, if you take a look, I don't want to bet the Raiders. I really don't. But like when you take a look at what's happening, and I love the Chargers, and with all seriousness, like at the Broncos, I do think they're a good team. I think Jeff is the highest of any of us on that team. But the Raiders,
my God, yes.
Yeah, he's it's
like ridiculous. Yeah, it's like
yeah. So
the
like
Broncos.
But like the Raiders, I would argue that this number is probably going to get up maybe even more to like 4, maybe even 4.5. Just because of what we're all saying about the Chargers. If that's the case, like the Raiders could come out and absolutely surprise a lot of people, right? So when you're taking like, especially week one, right? I think a couple of years ago, it was the Cardinals over the 49ers. those are the spots that you have to look for. The books aren't mature yet in who these teams are. So you take a look at teams that are getting negative sentiment in the offseason. The Raiders, compared to the Chargers, are one team. The Jacksonville Jaguars, too, Emerson, like at +3. I'm not necessarily saying that they're a team that can overperform, but they're going up against Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Like Carson Wentz and the Commanders, right? And Antonio Gibson, that the team doesn't necessarily love. I love Terry McLaurin, but that's another spot, right? Those are the places that I'm looking at. The Texans getting 8 points. Everybody loves the Colts. Matt Ryan could be an MVP. You've seen it written up a bunch of times that he's a dark horse MVP candidate. The Texans can come out. Nico Collins is looking great. You know, Damian Pierce is looking fantastic in that backfield. Davis Mills is the guy who commanded an offense pretty decent last year over expectation. +8, maybe you tease that up, right, to 14. Wow. And you get another team and you get that -110. That's the stuff I'm looking for, as opposed to like just straight up, because we really don't know. We don't know these teams that well yet. So that's what I'm probably doing. But I'm looking at like the Raiders, I'm looking at the Jaguars, and probably like one other team that I'm probably looking at. Like I think Detroit and Philly is an interesting one. I think Detroit at +4. Remember, they were a team that was strong against the spread last year. So Eagles getting a lot of love, especially from this one, yours truly. But again, the Lions at +4, they could impress some people.
I mean, Jeff, I
don't mind the over in that game either.
Yeah.
A couple good offense.
Jeff, your Broncos country. Let's ride. That's one of the biggest spreads of week one, too. I know we're fast forwarding all the way to Monday Night Football. I think the first of 2 games.
I mean, we haven't even talked about the best bet on the board yet.
Ooh. Which is?
You know where I'm going, buddy.
Oh, is that right?
It's America's team.
Yeah, let's go,
my boy, Doug Peterson going up against Carson Wentz.
Hell effing yeah, let's go.
Are you kidding me? This is. I can't believe more people aren't talking about this. This is like revenge. This is everything you want. Trayvon Walker going up against the 3rd most sacked quarterback of the last 5 years in Carson Wentz.
Remember what they did to him in like week 18 last year too. I mean, they shut Wentz down. I mean, that was in Jacksonville. The Colts have sucked for a handful of years.
The Commanders are not good. Carson Wentz is not good. Ron Rivera hasn't had a winning season. He's had 1 winning season the last 6 years or something as a head coach. Doug Peterson has had 1 losing season. That's because the guy on the other side of the ball, Carson Wentz, was so bad. No, I love this bet. I really do. In all seriousness, the Commanders. The one thing that worries me about the Commanders is the Brian Robinson thing. The teams tend to rally around it, but let's just forget about that. You can't play narratives. This is a good bet. I like the Jags here. Week 1, 3 points. Again, we'll want 3.5 or whatever. Maybe a good teaser up to 10.5 or something like that too. But I really do like that spot. I actually do like what Reed threw out about the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are going to get a bunch of wins. They're going to be competitive because that offense will keep them in it. You get to 4.5 points. Absolutely. Chargers will be a publicly bet team all year. Really like that one. The Chiefs are up to 4.5. They were at 3.5. I don't know about that. We'll see. I might just, maybe a money line bet on them or something like that. And then this 49ers Bears, it's just not a fair fight. It's just not a fair fight. 7 points. Like you're telling me that the Colts are 8-point favorites against the Texans on the road in a division game, but the 49ers are only 7-point favorites against the Bears? No, not enough. I think that the 49ers are going to absolutely smash week 1. Go over on the 49ers team total there too. I think it's like 24.5, 23.5. I like the 49ers. I don't care if the public's on them, whatever.
I mean, are you not scared? Well, both of you guys, Emerson as well. Are you not scared? I mean, that defense, yes, Walker, and they added Devin Lloyd, the linebacker from Utah, both really good prospects. I mean, that's really the only 2 that they added on that defense. And that defense was atrocious last year. They were terrible. I mean, like, say what you want to say about Carson Wentz. I'm in the camp that Carson Wentz isn't a great quarterback, but he's an upgrade in that offense, right? Than over Taylor Heineke. Jahan Dotson is also there with Washington. Like, I that straight up, the 3 points of the Jacksonville Jaguars scares me. Like, that scares me quite a bit. I would want to tease them up at least to get like 9. Because Like, I don't have confidence in just the Jaguars just yet.
The thing is, I mean, what's going on
That's
on the
on you,
other
bud.
side of the ball? Like Washington's just as bad. Like their secondary is not good. Who just went out? I'm having a brain fart. Who did they just?
Will they just release or
no? They're number one pick. Oh my God, what's his name?
I thought
Chase
it was
Young?
what?
Yeah, Chase Young.
Yeah, I mean, isn't he going to be back or no? Is he still out?
Did they put him on PUP?
I thought they put him on PUP.
Oh, if that's the case, then still, but like they still have one of the strongest defensive lines. They have Cole Holcomb in that middle, who's a fantastic linebacker.
Yeah.
Cameron Curl, he's also going to be there as well as kind of sort of that star role, that floater. Troy Polamalu made it famous. Jalen Ramsey's kind of playing that. So Landon Collins isn't there. He was a tackle missing machine. So
they were pretty bad last year, though. Like their defense as a whole was pretty bad.
They were, but you also got to remember they had a lot of COVID stuff last year. They had a lot of injuries for that defense last year. So again, we're talking about recency bias with all of these teams, right? Because that's
I mean, I don't think the Jags or Washington are either. Like, here's my thing with this game. I don't think either of these teams are going to be great at any point. But if I'm taking two teams that I don't like that much and I don't think are good, I'll just take the 3 points. Like, or just bet the one on the underdog, which is the Jags. And I really do like the fact that Peterson going up against Wentz week 1. Trust me, like Doug Peterson is going to be very, very prepared for this game. So
I got Jags going probably 8-9, 9-8. Yeah, I got the over. I got Travis Etienne as the MVP of that offense this year.
Did you draft him in one of your fantasy leagues?
No, but speaking of that, Reed, I really need Darren Waller to be okay.
Same.
Okay.
I got him on a bunch of my team, so same.
He signed with Drew Rosenhaus today. He's trying to get an extension.
Oh, he did sign with Rosenhaus. I knew
16 mil, I think, is the number.
But all of a sudden, the hamstring's going to be feeling a little better if they get a deal done sooner rather than
I don't know if the Raiders can afford Waller and Devontae Adams. Like, I kind of feel like, I don't know.
Yes, they can. They can figure it out. And Adams only like
they had slot machines in that arena, Jeff, in that stadium. What do you mean? Penny slots. And you see that thing that Purnam put out, penny slots. Vegas made like 300 mil. I forget which casino it was, just on penny slots in a month. At any rate, yes, man. I think like they got enough money to feed a small country. You kidding me? All these NFL teams do.
Wait, dude, it's 5:58. Do we have to go? Rapid. There it is. Wow, Eamon, have you even been paying attention back there? Dude, you just missed it. Everyone's taking over on Jags win totals, and they got them finishing second in the AFC South, making the playoffs as a wild card team. Wow. Okay, well, that's good stuff. Yeah, all three of us. All right, guys, that's it. That's a show. Are you guys on the show tomorrow on the Sweat tomorrow morning?
You bet, baby.
All right, cool. And then we got the big best ball draft. That's going to be fun on Friday. I'm actually looking forward to that. I like that format that DraftKings is implementing. So that'll be a whole hour and a half show on Friday morning. But okay, we're back in studio tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock Eastern time for the Sweat. We'll see everybody then. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Cool shirt, bro.
Hey, thanks, bro. I got an